Greetings, everybody. I am Paul, the producer, and this is another episode of FitSpaz Recovery. This is a place you can come to hear interesting stuff about keeping you fit, healthy, and staying sober. So what's going on this week? I'm coming at you a little late because I was not super motivated to do this recording over the last couple days, and the reasons are a few. Where shall I begin? What an interesting week. Not really. I'm keeping up well with my morning routine, thank goodness. That's like pretty much what's keeping me on the straight and narrow between exercise and meditation. Those two things, they sort of ground me. They keep me doing what I'm supposed to be doing every day. I come back to that and I feel pretty good. The last 3 days meditating, I have been very scatterbrained. And you know, I still have gotten something out of it, but my mind is just going here and there, and it's not settling calmly in one place. And what's that all about? It's mainly the biggest change in my life this week is that my 6-year-old daughter went out of the country with her mom to Slovakia, so she's thousands of miles away. It gives new meaning to missing her, because when she's on the other end of town, and I'm missing her. Yeah, I'm missing her, but she's right there, and she's about 20-30 minutes away in bad traffic. But when she's that far away and out of touch, and when I'm not going to be seeing her until July the 4th when I pick them up from the airport, I'm just like, oh man. It really does a number on my mind not to have her around, because frankly, I feel a lot of purpose when she's around, so my mind wanders into the naughty a little bit when she's not around, and I'm feeling bummed out about it, and I am feeling bummed out about it. I have not been nearly as motivated or social this week as I should have been. Even last night, I was thinking, hey, I might take a trip over somewhere where this outdoor festival and these concerts were happening, and so I showered and I got ready. I ate an amazing dinner, and instead I just watched Ted 2. Which is an absurdly stupid storyline in that movie, but it actually has a lot of parts that are funny where I did laugh out loud, but it was kind of stupid compared to the first one. Of course, that's stupid too, but it was just a better told story, and it was more fun and funny to follow and stuff, but still pretty damn funny. But I didn't go last night out like I was supposed to. I have an opportunity to go somewhere tonight too, and I'm like, I don't know, am I gonna do that? I don't know. I should. Tonight I have an opportunity to go to like a little open mic and hang out with some people, and I'm not gonna play. It's just I'm not rehearsed to play. There's one little piece I could play. I could just pull it out of my hat and play it, but I'm not gonna do that. I sort of want to go and do it just to be around people for a little bit, but I have no idea who's gonna show up there, what types of people or anything. It's just I thought I might go and do that. We'll see. I don't know. Just very antisocial this week. But notwithstanding that, I still went to Marijuana Anonymous on Wednesday, and feeling bummed out about my daughter going, I thought, well, I better go do this. I want to go be around people, because I've just been sitting lazy ass on the couch way too much, and it starts to take a toll on me. I start feeling like, and you know, when you go days without having any human contact, I mean, like, it's like flipping the pendulum all the way to the side of having too much isolation, and I have a tendency to do that, and my mind does wander into smoking weed when I feel bored like that. It does wander, and I get seduced by that idea a little bit. I'm not. I was sitting on the couch this week, and I'm like, I have $20 in my pocket. Or no, I think I said I had $30 in my pocket, and I was like, yeah, I can buy a couple grams of weed for that. Maybe even hash. And I'm not sitting here thinking I'm gonna go and really do that. It's just my mind wanders there. So it's just the way the addictive mind plays with you and sort of flirts with the temptation, and like I said, you know, but I do think I'm more at risk when I feel like I've been feeling this week. I'm not particularly happy when my daughter's out of town. Like I said, I lose my purpose. So I have to dig deeper to find purpose. And that's why I stay involved with my morning routines, meditation, and the working out. Working out's been pretty good. My back is still bugging me, but it's not like bugging me like it was a few weeks ago. So today I let in a leg workout a little bit. It's not the full-on heavy kick my butt leg workout. It was enough to get my legs going and burning and get my heart pumping, and so I felt pretty good, and it just got that burn in my legs. And I'm hoping the whole idea is like I want to maintain some of the leg strength and size that I've built up the past year, because the number one thing that aggravates my back is doing the leg workout. So I don't want to dive into the super heavy stuff again. I've been doing everything else, which is cool. Wednesday night I've been doing my dance routine. Yes, I do this dance routine called Size with a trainer called Sean T. And I think there are total of six different dance routines, and I'm on the fifth one, and I've repeated that twice. And it's cool. Every subsequent time I notice this thing gets a little better, and a big part of why I'm telling you this is that's what keeps my head on straight, is not just the physical activity. I love how it gets me sweaty, but improving at something on a regular basis. So even though I'm doing it just once a week, repeating the routine once a week, I see an improvement every single time where, oh, I'm doing this a little bit better, and I'm not having to think about the movements, and the muscle memories getting built in. I enjoy it kind of like playing guitar, although it's more physically demanding. So I did that this past week, and it was just like the night before last that I did that, and I like that. It's like I look silly. I'm not saying I have some kind of style, but I do have the rhythm built in, the understanding of rhythm built in. So when he's counting and he's here or there, I get that. And I have a mirror here now in my workout area that I put up, just a big nice mirror, and I can see in that now. And I noticed it was the first time I did the dance routine with the mirror, and I noticed like, hey, I can actually see what I'm doing and correct my style a little bit. So I could tell that my form on the moves was a little better. And it'll be interesting to see if I can like sort of have a little better style, because I can see it in the mirror now. It's like, it's totally different when you're thinking you're doing a move, but then you see yourself in the mirror and you're like, oh, no, I need to move this out a little more, move my hip, my leg, my knee up more, whatever, to look like what they're doing on the TV. So and the reason like I'm saying that I really need that is just the feeling like you're going somewhere in life. It's the whole progress of feeling like I'm getting something done and I'm improving something. I'm working at a skill. Still been reading this book called The Magic of Thinking Big, and the author's name is something I'm forgetting right now, but this last time I read it, it was talking about how, make it a goal tomorrow to introduce yourself to 5 new people. And I'm like, oh man, do you realize how hard that is for me? Go up to a stranger and be like, hey, I'm Paul. Like, because there are certain situations that facilitate that kind of thing, but just when I'm not doing anything specific socially, like an activity that breaks the ice, it's like, I'd rather go start a fight with somebody. To me, I have more, because it's like, you're not looking for the positive. It's like, it's easy to go find that negative, right? Like, start something negative with somebody, insult them and be like, you want some? That's so lame. But it's true. It's so much easier to start a fight because it's easy to just poke at a negative and get a response. But then I fear that less than going up to a stranger being like, hi, I'm Paul, and having them be like, oh, this is weird, and feeling like, what the hell is this guy doing talking to me? But that really gives you an eye in on the kind of confidence I have. It's just like, I don't want to bug people, you know what I mean? If I knew, like, that's why I'm always like, I wish I could read their mind, because if they're like, hey, who's that? Let's talk. It would be like such a relief knowing like, oh, this person's okay with me talking to them. But you don't get signals like that from people these days, right? You just get a signal like they're looking at their phone and they don't even look up at their phone and give you like, hey, I recall once when I was about 21. That sounds about right. When I was about 21, I started dating this girl. I was with my friend Christopher downtown, and we were walking up and down Larimer, and I got a distinct inviting look. And I was like, holy cow. And so I got her number. We talked on the phone. We hung out, made out a million times. And then subsequently later on, unrelated, she broke up with me because I was a pot smoker. Fine, that's not the point I was making. The point I was actually making is it's so rare that you get a welcoming signal like that. Some kind of body language that says, hey, yeah, it's okay if you come talk to me. So I'm looking for that. But we live in such an awkward social era, and I blame cell phones and smartphones and Facebook and social media for all of that. People are just not normal anymore. It's so impersonal, texting one another. So that's what I'll encourage people to do. Talk for real to people, you know what I mean? Don't be like, oh, don't call me, don't talk to me. The whole impersonal approach doesn't appeal to me. It's like so I actually did pick up the phone and call a friend yesterday. I got the message machine, but the fact that I picked up the phone is a little foreign to me, and yet I still think that's what we should be doing. We should take the more personal approach instead of the impersonal approach, because as a society and as people, we're becoming totally socially awkward. And what I need in life right now to feel fully enriched, is to connect with the right types of people. I want to connect with some sober people. I want to have activities planned, things we can do where it doesn't revolve around getting messed up all the time. And I'm sort of okay with people drinking. I just don't want to drink myself, and I don't want to expose myself to the possibility of smoking, because I've talked on here before about how when I drink, suddenly my mind is like click, and I can get so obsessed with getting high next that's always been what has led me back to smoking. If and when I ever took a break and I was still drinking, a little bit of a buzz, a little bit of drunkenness, and suddenly my mind was all about let's smoke, let's do that right now. And so I'm coming to this week just sharing my struggle with you, and it's that I am just admittedly an antisocial personality and an introvert. And antisocial, I mean, like, I want to be social. It's not like I'm against being social. It's just that I have this, I was, a few months ago, I was at a fitness activity downtown. Even my friend Brian was there. He was on an earlier episode of this, if you guys remember. And I was like standing far away from him when he was speaking to someone else, and he's like, come in here. And I'm just like that. I'm like keeping my distance, not wanting to bother people. And how much personal responsibility should I take for that kind of behavior? Because I think there's a big part of my past. You know, you search the past for the reasons why you are the person you are. And I feel like I've been let down by people. So there's this part of me that's just like, ho, 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 ho. But then when I go through the portal of isolation that I create for myself into the social world, I wind up having conversations with people, and I wind up realizing, hey, there's a total benefit to this, and I want to keep doing this. It feels good, okay? So when I do come out of my shell, I find out that it's worth it, and it makes me want to do it more. Case in point. About a week ago when I talked to you guys, I was wearing my button-up shirt, and I was about to go to a meetup with some other professionals in town, and it turned out to be a really good thing. There was this total sweetheart older lady there who was just like pulling people together and introducing them, and I'm like, my God, every get-together needs a person like this woman who's like, come here, meet this person. Hey, so-and-so, this is Lala. She would introduce herself to you, and then she'd be like, hey, everybody, this is so-and-so. Come here and meet him. And I'm like, oh my God, this is frightening, but I need this. Let's do this. What a wonderful lady. So I did have some good conversations that day. This is an event that it happens twice in a month, and I want to go back to it because it was a very nice gathering and mentally stimulating, gave me the chance to talk to people. And you never know when you meet people, when the sparks fly and you have the right idea to pursue some common agenda or goal together. And so I had some great conversations with people over there, and I need to make a business card with this podcast on it so that people can check it out and see what I'm doing when I go to events like this. So they know that I'm not just some empty vassal. Is that the word vassal? Not asshole, vassal. I guess that's a matter of opinion, huh? But I had some wonderful conversations with people, and wasn't there super long, maybe a couple hours. But so they do this twice a month, and one is way on the other side of town, and the other is now up on this side of town. And there was a really good turnout, so you get a good variety of people, and it's sort of what I need to connect and hearing what people. So they go around the room and everyone introduces themselves and says what they do professionally. And I think that's a good way to be like, hey, I just have the right kind of feeling about that person. I'm going to go up and talk to that person and give them my contact. And so checking people out online after I got their business cards, all that was very cool. And it leads to follow-up opportunities to connect with these people outside of those groups and so forth. But back to what I was saying, like, I really need that, as I've discussed with you guys on here, because I have a tendency to isolate and be a loner. I totally, absolutely need that, because honestly, I spend a lot of days where I don't even go out of my house and talk to others, and I'm like, that's not living at all. So I need to continuously, and years ago when I was doing my podcast, Downtown Marijuana Radio, it was like an abundance of an opportunity to be social with people all the time, almost every day, because I had a store that was open, and given nights of the week, I was always doing a radio show with other people, and people would be coming and hanging out while we're doing the radio. So there was always a social opportunity going on at that time. Granted, a lot of it revolved around pot smoking, but there was always the opportunity to be social nonetheless because of the situation that had been created. So at this stage in life, thinking about all these things, it's a lot harder to start from nothing. And maybe I'm not starting from nothing, but it's a perception I have that it's nothing compared to what I used to have. And so creating a genesis where there's this new rebirth of social activity, it's kind of hard, because when you're in your young 20s and you're in school, you get socially integrated with people, going to class every day all the time, and through other friends you make, they introduce you to others, and then bam, all of a sudden you're part of a social group and social setting. But like, as a middle-aged guy who has a daughter almost half the time and stuff like that, it's a little bit harder. Do you hear that? My stomach's like, it's a little bit harder to meet people under those circumstances. And it's like, oh man, you young people don't even realize how you're going to blink your eyes and you're going to be through your 20s, through your 30s, and then you're like, bam, what the hell happened? And social life is awkward. I wonder what life would be like if Facebook didn't exist, because it would instead of using this fake social supplement that claims to be connecting the world, you're actually getting out there for real. And one thing I just did notice about Facebook yesterday, which is good, I've been going to meetup.com to try and figure out things to do in other groups of people. I've been doing that quite a bit, seeing what's on there. And then I realized you go to this thing called events on Facebook, and it shows you all kinds of local stuff, way more than Meetup. It's like Facebook is the place to go to look for events. And so I'm encouraged by that. So one positive thing to say about Facebook in that regard is they just, if you look on there, there's an events button, and it'll show you everything local around you that a lot of people have committed to go to on a given day. And there are a lot of things in one day. And sometimes it's like, go to happy hour at and I'm like, that's not what I'm into. I'm looking for something a little more educational, personally enriching and stuff. Last night it was just kind of like a little family concert series over at Flatiron Mall. It's not that far from here, but evidently a lot of people go hang out at this thing, and that's what I should have done. Instead of sitting on my couch watching Ted all evening long. But so, if any of you want to find something to do, if you're struggling to get out like me, I recommend checking those events that people are listing on Facebook, because I found it to be very plentiful in variety and things nearby. So I'm gonna check it again today even and see if there's anything. But like I said, I already have an idea for something I might do tonight, but I don't know if that will be the most fun thing. I want to get the biggest bang for my buck going out. And I have observed, like I said, when I expose myself to possibilities, things happen. Even without me putting much effort into it, it's like, oh, I actually decided to step out of my comfort zone into this social setting, and I meet new people who wind up having a conversation with me, and we even have developed connections beyond that. So it's a good thing. I highly recommend that stuff. Now, what the hell am I going to talk about? So, of course, all these activities I want to revolve around productivity, personally connecting, being of interest intellectually. You know, of course I want to have fun too. Like, I can't eliminate fun from the equation, but I want to eliminate things that will lead me back to my old way of life. I just don't want to drink anymore, and I don't want to smoke anymore, and I want to meet people who have this in common. And of course I do other things, and there are other things, and all that jazz. Now I'm rambling on a little bit. This was a pretty good way to touch base today and let you guys know what I'm up to, but honestly, this has been a pretty tough week for me. An isolated week, a scatterbrained week when I'm meditating. I hate thinking that my daughter's thousands and thousands of miles away. It's just like, because it's your purpose, your father, it's your loving bond you have with her, and so I'm not angry about it. I'm not bitter about it. I'm just like, been a little harder to sleep because of that, and you know, when she's here too in town, her mom always has the phone or an internet connection so we can Skype or FaceTime, and so there's just more of that personal connection going on. And if I had endless heaps of money, okay, I would absolutely have gone on vacation this week, but I'm having to budget my summer carefully, and I have all these extra stupid expenses between having to fix my plumbing, which is driving me crazy. I didn't even get into that story, how I have to fix a plumbing issue, and some guy's coming to look at it tomorrow. I already got another plumbing issue fixed 6 weeks ago. That was $350. This guy a couple days ago bid $1,000 to fix this job, and I was like, freaking flippin' A. And like my dad said, he's like, God, that's way expensive. If you had to build this house proportionately for that dollar amount for what you get out of it, it would take $2 million to build my little house here. So it's a ridiculous rate. They just overcharge. So, but my point being, I'm over budgeted this summer. I also had to pay for my car insurance. And I'm going to Nashville next month, so that figures in. I had to buy a plane ticket for that and a ticket to the Beachbody Summit. And so, and I have to pay hotel for that coming up. But let's say money were just plentiful and way more abundant. These 2 weeks, while my daughter went to Slovakia, I absolutely would have traveled somewhere. I would have loved to have done that. Even on my own, I would like to travel alone, because it would get my mind out of this reality, and I'd go somewhere else. And I want to go to Vegas. It's like, I'm like, maybe I could still go do something, and I'm like, drive to Vegas? Because it's late to buy a plane ticket. It'll cost too much. But I'm like, where could I drive right now just to occupy my mind a little bit? And I don't know, because it's a budgetary thing. I just don't want to spend a fortune going out of town at this moment. But if money were no object, I might fly to San Diego or Los Angeles or San Francisco or even Florida. I want to check out Florida. Or, dude, this is the one that, I can't believe I didn't mention this first. I keep hearing how cool Austin, Texas is, so I want to go down to Austin, Texas and check that out. Thought about driving there, but for some reason, I'm so scared. So I'm a xenophobe, for Pete's sake. this comfort zone thing, when I talk about doing that, I'm like, drive somewhere. I'm like, but I have Colorado plates. And these freaking asshole cops, I said asshole 3 times now with just saying I said that word again for the 3rd time. These cops will see like Colorado license plate and they'll be like, pull over that pothead, and they'll have me in their database because I used to have a medical marijuana card, and I'll be like, no, I don't smoke anymore, and they're like, yeah, sure, get out, we're searching your car. So my mind creates this stupid reality, my imagination runs away, and it's probably safe to do these things, but like, so it becomes a stupid obstacle and an excuse for me not to move, which isn't fair. It's not free travel when you're an innocent person, but you're worried about some cops not minding their business and coming and bothering you. Do you know what that's like? That sucks. That's what that's like. It's like having fear of going somewhere because you're not doing anything wrong, you're not breaking any laws, but you're afraid of a cop pulling you over and making your life hell for no real justified reason at all. Stupid. I mean, like, stupid, right? So that's an unfortunate feeling I have when I think of driving somewhere. But like if I go with my mom, I'm like, I'm okay, because they're gonna see this is like straight-laced old lady, and just like, oh, this lady's not a troublemaker at all. Of course, this is not a problem. But if it's just me driving there, I'm like, yeah, baby, and they're like, yeah, you're totally a troublemaker, dude. Get out of the car, do this sobriety check. We're gonna search your car, warrant or not. And like you heard, don't mess with Texas, don't mess with Texas. But I want to go check it out. Anyway, I am going to wrap this up. Homeboys and homegirls. What? Yes. Okay, so, yeah, I'm a little excited to hear this on the TV, okay? Because I tweaked some settings in my mixer, and it should make the voice sound a little softer the way it hits you instead of having some loud points. I'm compressing it a little better. So this is FitSpaz Recovery. I hope I said something of meaning today. I feel like I was a little scatterbrained and all over the place, and that's sort of a demonstration of how I'm feeling this week. I've wanted to get up and do this, but I'm just like, ah. So here I am doing it. I'm okay. I'm semi-okay. A lot on my plate. Managing well. Feeling like sobriety is not compromised, but there's that temptation in the mind that's there. But anyway, if you want to check out previous episodes of this show, you can always find out all my social media and videos, all about all that stuff by going to FitSpaz.com. FitSpaz. And I want to thank Kevin MacLeod, of course, for the amazing musical backdrop I get to play while I do this show. Go to Incompetech.com to find out more about him. And in the meanwhile this week, people, I want you to enjoy yourselves. I hope it's not too hot where you are, but enjoy the summer. Get out there. I know the summer's wonderful. The summer's lovely. I should just even be walking down the park because pretty people get walking around. And women shed their clothing and they go for a jog, and you're like, hey baby, you want to jog with me? And they're like, no, get away from me, creepo. You just said, hey baby, you want to jog with me? Yeah, I did. And do you? No, I said no, creepo. Oh, somebody save me. I'm just a jackass sometimes. A jack-ass-ass. I hope you're all well. I will come at you again next week with another one. I'm staying consistent with these. Stay safe. Have a lovely week.